In this lesson, we're going to look at how to calculate the area of a triangle. Now, there are basically two formulas or two ways that you can calculate the area of a triangle. The first method you may be familiar with. If you're given the base of the triangle and you're given what's called the perpendicular height of the triangle, which is this length here, you can work out the area using this common formula. Area is a half times base times height, or we can write area A is equal to base times height divided by 2. Just a quick note, if you multiply by a half, it's the same as dividing by 2. So base times height divided by 2, which is this formula here, is exactly the same as a half base times height. There's absolutely no difference between the two formulae. So that's the first and most convenient way of working out the area of a triangle. Perpendicular basically means that the height and the base of the 90 degree of the triangle are basically at 90 degrees to each other. So sometimes you'll get a straightforward right angle triangle like this, where it's very, very easy to see where the base is and where the perpendicular height is. Sometimes you may get a more conventional triangle which looks like this. And it's clear to see where the base of the triangle is. It's basically this length here. The perpendicular height is basically the height of the triangle from its vertex or its highest point. So this is the vertex of the triangle. If I draw a perpendicular line going down, in other words, a line that's at 90 degrees to the base, then this length here is what you call the height of the triangle. And it's these two lengths, the base and the height, that go into this formula to work out the area of the triangle. Now, there is an alternative way of working out the area of your triangle using trigonometry, and you can use this for any triangle that you come across. Now, the trigonometric way of working out the area of a triangle, you need to be given two specific pieces of information. You need to be given two lengths in the triangle, and you need to be given the angle between those two lengths. So this is what you're actually looking for in any question. This is the important bit. The fact that you're given two lengths and the angle between those two lengths. Now, let's say we have a triangle PQR. Before we look at the actual formula, let's say that we're given this angle here. Let's call it x degrees. If I wanted to work out the area of this triangle PQR, you need to be given an angle and you need to be given the lengths on either side of the angle. So in this case, you need to be given the length of Q2P and you need to be given the length QR. Now those two lengths I'm going to call B and C. It doesn't matter which length I call B and which length I call C, but B and C are basically the lengths on either side of the angle that I'm using. So the angle is x degrees, and the lengths on either side of that angle x are the lengths B and C. Again, just to reiterate, we can swap the B and the C. Now, there is a formula that you're going to get in your formula sheet that will help you to calculate the area of the triangle, and the formula that you're looking for in the formula sheet is this. The area of the triangle is a half times the length of B times the length of C times the sine of the angle between those two lengths, the sine of x, and it's always sine. All you have to be able to do is use that formula to work out an area of a triangle. They'll give you the lengths B to C in the question, or you'll have to locate them. You're just going to be putting the values of B and C and X into this formula to basically work out the area of the triangle. I'm going to give you two examples or two worked examples next to show you how you basically use the half base times height formula, and then how you use the trigonometric way, the half BC sine x formula, to calculate areas of triangles. The following two examples will give you a good idea of how to calculate the area of a triangle. The first example is a very, very straightforward case. We have the triangle ABC, and we're told that this angle here is 90 degrees. And the question will read like this. It'll tell you calculate the area of triangle ABC. So if you look at the triangle that you're given, clearly you can see you're given the base of the triangle, which is 10 meters. And you're also given the perpendicular height of the triangle. Remember, the perpendicular height is the height of the triangle, which is at 90 degrees to the base. So the 8 meters in this case is what we call the height, or the h of the triangle. Remember, h is not the hypotenuse, it's the height. So the formula for working out the area of a single triangle, base times height over 2. I'm going to put the numbers in. So area, A. The base of the triangle is this 10 meters and the height is 8. So I'm going to replace the B with 10 in a bracket. I'm then going to replace the H in this formula with the 8 meters. I'm just going to use the 8, I'm not going to use the units. All divided by 2. You can then type that whole thing into your calculator in one go. So if I bring up the calculator, so if I clear this, if I just type the calculation into the calculator, 10 times 8 divided by 2, I get 40 meters squared. So the area of this triangle is going to be 40 meters squared. That's your final answer. The next way of calculating the area of a triangle is to use trigonometry. So if I've got this triangle KLM and I want to work out the area of this triangle, the information that you're looking for in the question is an angle. So I'm just going to make up an angle here. I'm going to say that this is 40 degrees. And you're looking for two lengths on either side of that angle. So your exam questions are going to look very, very similar to this. This is what you're actually looking for. You need to be given two lengths, in this case the 8 meters and the 10 meters, and you need to be given the angle in between those two lengths. In this case it's the 40 degrees, if we are to calculate the area of the triangle. Now, the formula for the area of a triangle, you go to your formula sheet, is area equals a half BC sine x. Now, x is the angle. In this case, the angle is the 40 degrees that we're using. The B and the C are the lengths on either side of this angle. So the 8 meters and the 10 meters are the B and C. Now, it doesn't matter which one of these lengths we label B and which one we label C. So I'm going to call the 8 meters B, and I'm going to call the 10 meters C. Again, we can interchange the B and the C. All we then need to do is put these numbers into the formula. So area equals a half. Replace the B in the formula here with 8. Replace the C in the formula here with the 10 in its own bracket. Sine, and then the angle goes after the sine. So the angle that's in between the B and the C is the 40 degrees. So 40 degrees goes after the sine. You then grab your calculator and you type the whole of the right-hand side into your calculator in one go using brackets. So let me clear this. If I type this into the calculator in one go, well, I've got the half at the beginning. So I'm going to press my fraction button, 1 over 2, go to the right. I'm then going to put in the 8 in its own bracket, then the 10, and then sine, and then it's the sine of 40 degrees, close your bracket, equals, and you get your answer of 25.71. So the area of this triangle is going to be 25.71 meters squared, and that's your answer.